Arsenal fans, I'm with you. We want signings in January, and technically, we're moving closer to signing someone. Unfortunately, they won't be joining until the summer. Now, I understand people say the club PR, the cycle continues. As I said, I'm with you, lot people, and I hope to God we act in the market in January. But we've been linked with Zubimendi. In fact, all the journalists are being quite aggressive in that regards. So let's take a little look into what we could be getting with the player and also the talking points behind the man. Let's go. As usual, I begin my day browsing the internet, looking for Arsenal related talking points when it comes to live streaming with you lot. And then I saw the news, people, that Martin Zubimendi was linked with Arsenal. And on that matter, the Romanos, the Ornsteins, the Sammy Motebells, every publication you can think of is saying that we're about to sign Zubimendi for the summer. I believe regarding Jorginho and Partey, the club already know what they want to do. Regardless, both are on the wrong side of 30. Declan Rice has turned 26, which is basically the same age as Zubimendi. We do need to address midfield. We do need a long-term partner for Rice in that midfield. The question is, why does Arsenal and Mikel Arteta remain so keen on signing Zubimendi? It seems that we have been chasing him for the best part of a year, as some of you know, people. I'm not Mikel Arteta. I don't work for Arsenal, but we can together try and figure out why we want him. By now, we all know Mikel Arteta loves his duels and gets very upset when we don't win our duels. Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Mikel Moreno, who ironically said we're like an NBA team, although Zubimendi's only 5'9", would lay testament to that. And Zubimendi, in theory, would be right at home. Last season, he had a duel success rate of 51.6%, people. Of the 157 duels he contested, he won 81 and lost 76. Since the 2019-20 season, he has the best aerial duel success rate of any midfielder in La Liga to contest 250 plus, giving him a win rate of around 67.35. He's also quite good where it comes to individual battles. Now, I hear you, it's great that he can contest and do things like that, but what is he like on the ball? As you would imagine of a very Spanish cultured midfielder, passes under pressure in the Champions League last season was at 87%. He played 65 line breaking passes in that very same competition, and he had an open play touches of around 12% in the midfield. Let's have it right. Where it comes to Arsenal's midfield, Mikel Arteta has spent a lot of money. It's about time Declan Rice had a long-term partner. Of course, you look at Arsenal, we've got an aging midfield with Jorginho and Partey. In relation to Declan Rice, for me, he's a dynamic defensive midfield warrior and a box-to-box king in that regard. And that's his talent. I mean, it seems that Mikel Arteta does prefer him in the 8 role or the box-to-box role slightly further forward. Naturally, he looks less comfortable there than in the 6. If we do sign Zubimendi, people, for me, I think they will complement each other very well. We need a level raiser. Unfortunately for Mikel Moreno, I think you're good in the squad, but I don't think you're a level raiser, and I do think Zubimendi could be that. I mean, we all saw in the Euro 2024 final when he replaced the injured Rodri at halftime how great he is, and simply put, while he is perfect for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal's possession-based philosophy, he displays lovely technical ability. He's fairly press resistant, clearly an enhancer in that he makes his teammates better, clearly a very intelligent reader of the game where it comes to progressing play, playing line, splitting passes, and intercepting opposition's play. And also added on to that, people, he's particularly good at retaining the ball. At a point last season in La Liga, he only lost possession 9.1 times per 90. Of midfielders who played at least 1,000 minutes, only 13 average fewer losses of possession per 90. Obviously, this is a metric that naturally has to be taken with a pinch of salt, dependent on the team's dynamics, how they want to play, etc., etc. Now, you could accuse him of being careful in possession, but I don't think that's true. 467 of his 1,535 passes were played further forward, which stands at around 30.4%, which is a higher percentage than, for example, Luka Modric. Fair enough, at Madrid, it's a bit of a reduced role. He averaged 51.7 passes per 90 in La Liga last season with an accuracy of 86.4%, people, which he shows he is very cultured on the ball, and you can see how he'd be a great player, people. Very comfortable in that lone 6 role, as you can see at his time via Real Sociedad, it makes sense to go and sign in people. It makes sense in my humble opinion. And then you look at our potential midfield options. You would have Zubimendi, his former teammate and assuming new teammate Mikel Moreno, of course Declan Rice. You do have the young Ethan. Odegaard could obviously play in a couple of roles. Admittedly, I don't want to see it, but Kai Havertz as well. And I know he's making a name for himself in the inverted left back role, but we got to remember Lewis Skelly could make a go of that midfield. So I do think it makes sense. Now, I would like to point out that I've actually done a video on Zubimendi before, so make sure you click the link and you take that in after this video. While you're here, it wouldn't hurt to like, comment and subscribe and boost the YouTube algorithm. Come on, man, let's get to 70k. You could argue Declan Rice looked the most comfortable when he was partnered next to Jorginho. Now, I do think in a loose way, Zubimendi is somewhat like that, and we could see them line up in a double pivot. It's intriguing what Mikel Arteta could do. I'm keen to see how Zubimendi could help us in possession, especially when we're keeping teams pending their own half and creating a lot of overloads. Now, some of you lot remember a few years ago, Mikel Arteta against Brighton played Lokonga as the lone six, I know, and Smith Rowe and Odegaard as rotating eights. You would have seen in the first half against Brighton, Mikel Moreno and Declan Rice kind of, playing extremely further forward and creating overloads in the left and right, and subsequently several players getting into pockets. I'll be keen to see how Odegaard would perform in such people. And then, the most attractive thing, of course, has to be build-up play. You'd imagine Zubimendi can play in a double pivot or the lone six. Declan Rice could gamble knowing he's got a versatile and smart lone six chaperoning, people. And then for me, it's about build-up play. Zubimendi has looked comfortable for Sociedad as a lone six, so we have the potential to play a double pivot. Zubimendi as a lone six in build-up play. Odegaard having two switched-on players next to him, he could give greater impetus, in a creative sense. And then obviously, you look at Declan Rice and Odegaard, I wonder if Mikel Arteta would allow them to gamble. We're well aware of our build-up play, the centre-back split. We become a back three dependent on the centre-half. We've got inverted fullbacks. We've got Kai Havertz in the half space. Martinelli holds the width a lot more than Saka. And for me, it's just about suffocating teams. We know we play a high line. We know we get doubled and tripled up against. You'd imagine the space that Odegaard and Declan Rice could run into, and also subsequent attacking players. In theory, it makes a lot of sense in my humble opinion. So this is a signing I'm all for, provided once again that it goes through. I can't even lie to you guys, people. Until it's done, it's not done. Until I see Zubimendi being shown in pictures around London Coley saying he grew up watching Thierry Henry, etc., I won't get excited. Not because on the best of days that's what I believe, but we've seen several times it appears that Zubimendi is going to leave Sociedad only to perform a U-turn. Subsequently, there's also those rumours. As much as there's rumours linking Zubimendi with an imminent arrival for the summer at Arsenal, there's also reports saying nothing's decided. So I won't count my chickens before they hatch. Equally, I expect the club to be preparing for next season and preparing the summer arrivals. But the last time I checked, it is January, folks, and it's quite cold. It's cold in terms of the weather, and it's cold in terms of the current climate we currently face as Arsenal fans. Now, crucially, the Daily Mail did say in their article that owing to Gabriel Jesus' injury, we are looking to act in the market for attacking players. I mean, even if everybody was fit, we still need a striker and a winger in addition to some midfield options. So it's all fun and games talking about the summer. There's a lot of football to still be played, and we're out of the League Cup, basically. I hope we turn it around. We all know that we went out the FA Cup against Manchester United, and there's slim hopes of Premier League and Champions League glory. I'll always live in hope, but in reality, it feels like it's going to be a trophyless season. I hope I'm wrong. As much as it's about new signings, it's also about what Mikel Arteta does on the coaching front. There's a lot of coaching he needs to be able to do so that we look better penetrating central areas. The data is damning.